You don't want to
Because
learn.
I've had Justin on my bench for his 15 pointer, for his 14 pointer, and in the last game week for his 9 pointer. So yeah, that's a lot of points missed.
Hello and welcome to another episode of FPL Escapades. My name is Kshitij and I'm joined by Akshay and Anand to discuss the FPL assets for game week 24, which is going to be a crucial and hopefully crazy game week given four teams who have double game weeks. Akshay, welcome back, man. How was game week 23? Did you fare well? And what are your plans for game week 24?
I personally had a great game week, so scored 77 points and saw a small green arrow of 50k. So currently close to 300k as far as the OR is concerned. And Captain Bruno finally, and I think this is the first time when he scored a goal and did not get a bonus in FPL. So one of those strange occasions, but happy to have him back in the score sheet. And what a goal it was! Like reminded me of Eric Cantona after that no celebration. So great to see that. Although what happened later on in the game, which is highlighted by the 12 points up front, I'd not like to talk about that because that was really sloppy, and we have to stop conceding points like we do. So going forward, I think what my plan would ideally be is we've seen quite a few injuries when it comes to the FA Cup. So Justin, he went down yesterday, and the only worry that I have with Justin is that was a no contact injury. So generally, when players go down without contact, it could be serious. And from what I hear from the Twitter sphere, it's something to do with the knee. So I hope it's not too serious because he's having an amazing season for Leicester. So I personally don't want to remove him because Leicester are a good team and he personally offers a lot apart from the clean sheets. So planning to hold on to him right now. So he is my first sub, as you can see, and currently have five double game week players, so I do not plan to increase it anymore. So I think five is sufficient, and do not want to go heavy on the double game week 24. So my plan right now, what I think is, if I get a confirmed news that DCL is certainly out, because from what we saw yesterday, he was holding his hamstring, so it could be a hamstring issue or something to do with the knee as well. But if it is a hamstring, we've usually seen players miss at least a game, if not both the games. So the only problem that we have is his first game is Fulham, so we don't want him to miss that game, right? So not really sure on how to tackle that situation. So what I thought going into game week 24 is we know that Leeds have a double game week in game week 25, and we know how hot Patrick Bamford is. So I don't know how I've managed to not have him in my team so far going into the season, because if you look at the uh, total points in FPL, he's second amongst the forwards, if I'm not wrong, behind Harry Kane. So those are the two transfers that I planned because Kane is back for Spurs, and you know what that means. So Kane back for Spurs means Spurs work as a unit. So Spurs, both Kane and Son become FPL assets all over again. And I think Kane scored yesterday as well in that crazy FA Cup game, which Everton managed to win 5-4. So Kane back on the score sheet is good signs for FPL managers who are looking for him. So my plan right now is to take a -4, which is long time coming because I've not been taking hits for I think close to 8 to 10 game weeks, which I've not taken a hit. So that's remarkable. And yeah, planning to remove DCL and Martial, who probably will be benched again after that 120 minutes. So Kane and Bamford in for DCL and Martial. That's the plan right now.
Yeah, interestingly enough, and I completely agree with your situation here in the forward lineup as well. I do also own DCL and Marshall myself, and Anand is someone who owns Cavani. So, Anand, I'd like to ask get in your ideas if you were to suggest Cavani over Marshall. Who do you think is going to start? Will Ole continue with Cavani, or Marshall might get a chance?
Yeah, so Cavani is set to start because he was benched in the FA Cup, and United won that match. Although he came on in the second half, so he will start. But Martial can start as well from either on the left wing or on the right. So there is because the competition for the wing places right now is between Martial, Rashford, and Greenwood. So probably Rashford can be benched as well because Marshall has missed a lot of chances, but so has Rashford. So you might be lucky to see Marshall starting. And even if he doesn't start, he's still a good pick, in my opinion. If United scores a lot of goals in the first half, just like what we saw against Southampton, so he can come in the second half and run riot. Uh, yeah, so that is what I think of Marshall.
Yeah, and hopefully he runs right next game week because right now I didn't play. He was on my playing 11 last game week. I scored a really mediocre, below average 55 points, seeing huge red arrows of 100k and slipping down to 300 plus now. So yeah, the best season not going as planned, but a long way to go. We'll talk about that soon. Um, Gundogan again fired. My transfer of Ben Mee did not really pay, but I had game week 24 and 25 in mind as well. So yeah, I hope that he returns because a lot of people, FPL managers, there's a lot of buzz about how FPL managers want to target either Nick Pope or captain him, or some are also, on Twitter. There are some people who are going to captain Lowton and Ben Mee and play triple captainships as well. So you never know; it's going to be crazy weeks ahead. But yeah, for me, I think the my pain points over the last couple of game weeks have been my out of the way differential captain picks who haven't really fired, and that have cost me a lot of points in the mini leagues as well as overall ranks as well. So I think Antonio and DCL thankfully saved my week at the expense of United dropping points. So that is never a happy moment as a United fan. But as an FPL manager, he did save my game week. I had Martial on, who thankfully did not play, and DCL came on to give me 12 and save my game week. And I was foolish again to doubt the great Emi Martinez and bench him for McCarthy after that 9-0 dropping of Southampton after United. So that also made me realize, I think, Anand, like going back to our conversation in game week 2 or 3, where you said um, you should only have one keeper, so you do not regret playing the other one over him. And now that comes back to me. But yeah, this is my bus team. I also have 5 players playing the double game week. Not really my problems right now, I feel, is with the forward. I'm definitely going to wait for DCL's injury update. And if he does not play, definitely one transfer will be him out. Antonio, I'm keeping as my first substitution. But uh, like looking at Patrick Bamford and coming back to Akshay, I mean, absolutely, man. I do not know why or how Bamford has not made it to my team yet, given his form and given what Bielsa is bringing out of him. And this again circles back to that fateful episode with FPL Jim, where he said that Bielsa can actually make Bamford score a lot of goals, and that is indeed coming true. So, but I'm not really stuck with my gut feel plans, but this week, if DCL isn't playing, I think I was really happy seeing Richarlison score the brace last night in the 5-4 victory against Spurs. So Richarlison is on my watch list, but definitely leaning towards Bamford as well. I don't see how you could miss the upcoming run of fixtures that Leeds are having, given the double at game week 25. So Anand, I think like Everton, Richarlison to DCL, I myself am, contradicting my this move. So do you think this makes sense given Richarlison's eye test last game, or do you think it is way too early for Richarlison now to fire?
See, he has two matches in this game week, so he's definitely a good shout. And if you want to look ahead and if you want to plan for a long term, fix, then probably Bamford could be a good option as well because he's having double game week in game week 25. And at the same time, even Danny Ings, you can probably watch out for Danny Ings as well because even he's going to have a double game week in 25. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, still for this game week, he's a decent shout. Yeah, that is all I have to say.
Akshay, do you feel the same, like setting up for game week 24, given the set of players? I know, like, since Justin and the Leicester defense is now injured, so I think does any other player from Liverpool also become an asset come game week 24 and onwards?
No, so just to touch upon Richarlison and the eye test yesterday. So from the little that we saw yesterday after DCL went off, So Richarlison moved into a central role. So we could see that happen against Fulham. And if Richarlison plays up front, I think that's a crazy punt because you know what he can deliver. But he's not been there this season. He's not been one of those hot streaks which he has usually when we saw that with Watford as well. So I personally think that's a great punt. But as far as your team is concerned and Patrick Bamford is concerned, I think what you can do is probably hold on to Antonio for now and just make that switch next week, wherein you can just move to Bamford from Antonio in a straight swap, sorry, and not use the -4 right now because all you have to do is bench Antonio, and you're anyway going to do that. So if you do plan to get Bamford, I would rather suggest remove Martial because he is one of those players who's I personally don't think he's going to get the minutes. Maybe when he turns his form, but not at the moment. So Cavani is probably the number 9 that United will have. Yeah.
Yeah. Great points, man. And I most likely will get rid of Martial and not get rid of Antonio. Should I plan to take a hit this game week or maybe transfer ship somebody out next game week? I think it will be Martial. Uh, coming
Also, like
to
we have Ruben Diaz who's flagged. So we heard from Pep yesterday that he has a stomach bug. So I think he should be okay to recover for the double game week. So managers looking to ship out Ruben Diaz. I think you should probably not do that right now because he's one of those players who will do his best to recover from a weakness like a stomach bug. So it could be a mild fever or something like that, but I think he should recover.
Yeah, and like Pep said, Ruben Diaz has become almost undroppable and definitely really less chances of him being rotated. Yeah, and coming back to the point of Martial versus Cavani, Anand, how was your game week? Cavani giving you those 8 points, so much better than Martial at the expense of Martial, rather. How was your game week and what are your plans, man, for 24?
So 68 points this game week, decent game week. I had Justin on my bench once again, so uh, that was something which I feel like, why
You
am I
don't want
doing
to
it
learn,
all?
right? You don't want to
Because
learn.
I've had Justin on my bench for his 15 pointer, for his 14 pointer, and in the last game week for his 9 pointer. So yeah, that's a lot of points missed. But still, I was hopeful about Alonso, returning, but he didn't start. So that was a fund that fired that like that did well in the last game week, but last game week it didn't do well at all because he came off the bench and then just gave a single point. But overall, decent team because all three of the forwards, Bamford, Watkins, and Cavani, they did return, while Rashford, Fernandes, Salah as well. Yeah, so with Cancelo, that was something, he can always return. And against Liverpool, it was almost certain that Liverpool would score as well because they have an attacking team and City's style suits them. But still, Cancelo can give attacking returns, so he is personally for me like you can just keep him for the season because he's having amazing statistics this season. Like Kshitij, even I benched Martinez and I played Nick Pope. Uh, so that was again a disappointment. Like easy 18 points on the bench, but 68 fine. I think we can move on and look forward to the next game week. This game week is pretty interesting. Like double hustle, two matches this game week. So right now I have a decent team. I have two free transfers and point 0.5 in the bank. But and then I have three players who do have double game weeks too. And I'm thinking of bringing either Foden or Foden for Salah, or I want to ship out Alonso and get in a double game week player, say Ben Me. But I feel uh, I'll just make one transfer because I have a decent bench with the likes of Dallas, Justin. Uh, okay, Justin might be out, but Dallas is a decent bench player. So if both the City defenders starts and whosoever I get in for Alonso, so that is where I do think like what should I do is he has a really good fixture against Newcastle, and then the last dice I have I'm throwing is uh, removing Salah and getting in Foden. So Foden has been creating a lot of chances. He's seventh on the list in the Premier League right now for goal creation action per 90 minutes. So this is a statistic that I really like a lot because it gives you an account of a player's goal scoring prowess. At the same time, also gives you gives you an idea about how creative the player is while a goal is being scored. So a really interesting statistic that I look at. And apart from that, Ings again really tempting, but I'll just keep this forward line as it is for this coming game week. And Foden and Alonso. I have two free transfers and I have to use one, or I can waste it as well. I can't, but yeah. So that is the thing because Foden with two fixtures, he was benched against Swansea in the FA Cup as well, and he came on in the second half. So kind of shows that Pep wants to play him, and you know there'll be these are big matches, Tottenham and Everton, and we've seen that Foden does start in the big match, like we saw against Liverpool. So Foden is somebody that I'm eyeing. But yeah, what do you guys think, Akshay? And then Kshitij, your opinion. If I want to remove a player, who should be the one from my midfield or defenders? Like if you want, what do you feel about me removing Alonso or Salah or anybody else, and who should I get in?
Yeah, I think as far as Alonso is concerned, you can probably wait for the Chelsea game against Barnsley and take a call from there. So if Alonso is benched in that FA Cup game, all you have to do is play Alonso and bench Dallas and just leave Justin and Dallas on the bench. And coming to Dallas, I think that's one of the players that I'm also targeting in game week 25 because Leeds having that double and Dallas playing in midfield with Struijk in defense, I think that's a juicy asset to have with that price. So he's rising every day. He's already 5 now, and I think he's going to rise even further with the double game week coming. And yeah, I also agree with the Foden points that you made because we've seen how Pep likes to rotate his players for big games, and you know that Pep rates players when he's playing them in only the big games. And if you noted last night, all of his big game players were subbed off really early. So he removed Sterling, he removed Gundogan, and Rodri went off injured. So that is one of the worries that we have when it comes to Gundogan and Foden. So that's a interesting battle that people are discussing whether to go for Gundogan or Foden because Rodri being injured is a worry for Gundogan owners because he'll drop in deep and he'll not get the license that he usually has. So that's personally a good thing in your favor because if you go for Foden, he's the one who's going to be free up front alongside Sterling and maybe Jesus. So yeah, great punt.
Yeah, like talking about Foden, I'd rather like Salah moving out Salah to get in Foden would leave a lot of cash in the bank for you. To answer your Alonso question first, I think Lucas Digne is a great shout given his double game week and potential game weeks in 26 or either 25, 27. So that can be a good pick for Alonso if you really want to use your free transfer. Given the for the couple of game weeks coming ahead. But Anand, I want to understand like why did you not go for Sterling instead of Foden? Is it because you do not really like your captain scoring those easy goals in the words of Suryansh, or is it something? Are you saving that cash in the bank for another big move?
Uh, so there are multiple reasons why we can discuss about this in length. One is I don't trust Sterling's finishing. Yeah, I know he gets a lot of 1v1 situations, and but that is where I feel that at that price, you can get more forward. So pretty sure that Sterling will score 20 goals or 25 goals, but because he gets a lot of chances but doesn't convert them, I feel there are other finishers in the game who probably will cost you less, but at the same time will probably return the similar amount of goals and assists. So that is the main thought process behind this. And but yeah, of course. And then the fixtures are in Sterling's favor once again. He'll be he'll be again, having 1v1 situations or tap in situations, and he's having two matches too. So he's a really juicy pick as well. And if I'm degrading from Salah to Sterling, that can happen easily. But it's a really good shout out actually regarding Sterling. But then at the same time, what really happens in FPL is there are just not 11 players who return points. I think every game week we see around 20 to 30 players returning points. So Sterling could be one, and but my gut feeling and the statistics and the eye test that I have been seeing, I just feel it's in the favor of Foden at the moment. But yes, Sterling has some points. For example, he's more certain to start both the matches because he's an experienced player. So there is weight towards Sterling as well. But again, there are several points for Foden, and I personally feel Foden is a really great pick for this game week, and it can backfire too, or Sterling can come back and score a couple of hat tricks in both the matches. So whatever it is, you have to stick with the call that you personally feel at the end of the day. But yeah, like plenty of good fixtures coming up. It's a double game week once again for some celebration time, and for many it's like a 200 pointer game week as well. Like that's huge. Probably almost everybody's certain to like score 80, 90, or 100 this game week. So what do you guys feel? Are there any juicy fixtures that you would like to target or we've not discussed so far?
I personally am targeting the Burnley fixtures with Crystal Palace and Fulham. I think those two games for Burnley can be like make or break of for FPL managers who might have the defensive assets, because if Burnley do concede in both of the games, so that will be something that will really backfire. And with such kind of partial double game weeks, you really don't really know. There might be one game, one team who has just one game and they absolutely pop off, and you really don't have any assets, or you might have shipped somebody out from that team. So these are the kind of game weeks which actually get to you uh, actually to in your head, that you really can't afford to make any mistakes. So for me personally, Burnley. Akshay, what are your games that you're looking for?
I mean, after the FA Cup game last night between Everton and Spurs, I think this could be the week where any of your Manchester City assets could not go wrong, and all of them could haul. So we've seen previous double game weeks where Manchester City were involved, and Mahrez and Foden and all of them returning double digits. So this could probably be that week because we've seen how Spurs and Everton are in defense, and what I feel is City defenders might get lucky with headed goals. I personally have that feeling. So we might see that John Stones or Ruben Diaz goal yet again. And talking about single game week players outscoring double game week players, I think that could easily happen in the United West Brom game. So I've also seen people looking to captain Bruno Fernandes. So you might call them crazy over a double game week player, but he has that in him. He can easily outscore a double game week player. So that's one game that I'm looking to target when it comes to FPL points, because although I'm removing Martial, but United assets do offer a lot of value. So what that does is it opens a space for me in defense or anywhere in my team. So good going forward. But yeah, that's all I have for the fixtures. But great to have the double game week on us yet again. And coming to Burnley, I just am sad to see Chris Wood not featuring, because that would have been one of the transfers that I would have made as far as forwards is concerned. But him not being available and doubts over DCL is a worry. So that's why I'm personally targeting game week 25 and going from there. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, and really great points about Game Week 25 and the thought process behind building your team in Game 25. I spoke to a couple of FPL managers as well who are actually targeting Game Week 25 more than they're actually targeting Game Week 24. So yeah, I mean, to each his own. We have multiple strategies coming. Anand, what is your strategy, man? What fixture are you looking for at Game Week 24 and beyond?
I think you guys are absolutely correct. City is the main City is the main match. Them having two matches this game week, and apart from that, United versus West Brom is again looks really juicy on the paper. Arsenal Leeds uh, can be really interesting as well. Let's see how Arteta wants to play this match. If Arteta wishes to attack, it's going to be a great sight for all the neutral spectators and for the fans as well. Uh, and Everton will probably miss DCL if he doesn't start, but still they have the firepower and they can do well. Chelsea Newcastle is another game. Like the way Newcastle likes to play, they'll invite a lot of pressure. They'll sit deep. So can Chelsea open the gates? That's going to be interesting. So yeah, and when you invite a lot of pressure, sometimes you find it not pleasing because yeah, you can concede one mistake and you can concede, but then Newcastle are great on counter and they're having Saint Maximin is in good form at the moment, so he can hurt Chelsea or
Yeah.
and yeah, Almiron is also
But
in
I
good.
think Callum Wilson ruled out for 6 to 8 weeks is not a good sign. And coming back to Everton having firepower without DCL, I hope you were not referring to Josh King.
So, I mean, he might be on penalties if Sigurdsson is not playing,
Yeah,
or probably Richarlison will take.
that could be a really interesting one because if Josh King gets the nod ahead in at number 9 and Richarlison plays out wide, you never know, he might get lucky.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely, absolutely.
he
So
has the potential though. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and uh, so potential. Talking about potential, Anand. Most important question: who are you pipping for the captain in Game Week
Oh,
24?
it's a really tough call because I don't have a City midfielder at the moment, and apart from City, I don't think we should look at Burnley midfielder, Fulham midfielder, or Hamas can be a decent shout, but can he play both the matches? Uh,
yeah,
yeah. So
that's the problem. I think
that's
after Sigurdsson's show last night, it makes it even more doubtful.
oh yeah. So I mean, Bruno is a spectacular choice. Cavani um, against that West Brom, again a really good option. Salah against Leicester. Leicester have not won the last I don't know how many matches against Liverpool. Uh, even this
And
season,
it's always been high scoring as well.
yeah. So I mean, right now I'm kind of fixed on Bruno at the moment, and yeah, I might think about either Cavani or even say Gundogan or Foden or Sterling. I think Sterling is ringing some bells now because of you guys. So yeah, I mean Bruno at the moment. Yeah.
Akshay, you're going with the City midfielder Gundo, I assume.
I probably will, yeah. So if not Gundo, it will probably be Bruno. I do not want to take a punt on any Burnley defender or a City midfielder for that matter. So not planning to upgrade Gundo to any other player. So probably Gundo. And if there are injury news that Rodri is back, then it's definitely going to be Gundo.
Yeah, and I, for one, am definitely not going to play any kind of a differential punt on my captain. Will definitely go safe with Gundogan, and he is going to be my captain. I'm not going to change him. I've made up my mind.
Guys, do you so KDB is back in training,
Yeah.
and
I
this
don't know.
is
I have a feeling he'll feature in one of those games.
oh absolutely, and he'll score more than every other midfielder in this game.
Yeah.
It
We've
might
seen
be the
how
it might be
people
the
rise
Tottenham
from the
game.
ashes. We've seen how people rise from the ashes. Harry Kane coming out of nowhere, and yeah.
I think, yeah, exactly, and that is what I think Pep would like to do to Mourinho in the
Oh
Tottenham
wow,
City game.
that would be
Oh, that's gonna be
nice.
fire.
I think that is what Pep is waiting for and being hush hush.
Hello, old friend. How are you?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely.
So
I
I think
hope
that's yeah.
I
I
Loki
might
as you I Loki hope that it does happen. I mean, I would really like to see Mourinho's reaction to that in this post match conference.
yeah. I mean with KDB now, the City options are really juicy. It's gonna be a huge risk bringing in KDB, but
Yeah, I
let's see.
think. Yeah, I think, and these kind of double game weeks, like partial double game weeks, are definitely, and given the kind of the time frame that they're in between the Champions League and other FA Cup rounds and other things as well. So yeah, really interesting to see what which FPL team makes or breaks. Hopefully. We do good, and all of our subscribers and listeners do good as well. And with that, it's been an interesting discussion, like always, talking about Game Week 24 and beyond. Yeah, Game Week 25, 26, more double game weeks upcoming, and a really a plethora of games coming our way. to all of our supporters and listeners, thank you so much for supporting. All of our social media handles are in the description. Please do give us a follow, like, and subscribe this channel. It really helps us as an upcoming YouTube content creator. And yeah, we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we hope that your FPL season is going great and you're keeping well. Um, as always, we hope that you enjoyed this one. Have a great day. Thank you and have a good one. And as always, may the arrows be green. Peace.